Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sorrowfan here, and another fine Monday it is. I just want to start off by saying thank you all so much that participated in the discussion in my last Monday video titled Memorable Monday, The Future of MapleStory, and I absolutely loved the discussion I got to have with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys left your thoughts and opinions on the subject, and you know how I am. I like replying to all my damn comments because I love discussing stuff with you guys. I like that one-on-one connection that I develop with all my fans, or at least the ones that choose to leave some comments and stuff for me. And I had a blast, to be honest, discussing a lot of the things with you guys. And a lot of you guys raised a lot of good points. And when it comes to MapleStory and a lot of discussions about MapleStory in general, I'm a very flexible type of person. I've been playing the game for like 6-7 years now, and I could see things from all types of perspectives. I am one of the people that have a 2 mil range, and I know a lot of people will think that since I have a 2 mil range, I'll be on the opposite side of them, since they're one of the weak people in MapleStory that quit because the game's too pay to win or so. But that's not the case at all. I like trying to be as fair as possible when I'm discussing anything for that matter, especially when it comes to MapleStory, because I know just because I have a 2 mil range, it doesn't mean I didn't invest a shitload of cash into the game. I'm not gonna lie and say that I didn't spend any money on the game. I spent more money than I should have on the game, and I still spend money on the damn game. Um, but at the same time, if someone wants to tell me it's not pay to win, I'll listen out, because I could see it from that point of view as well. And I think that's what I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk about pretty much the question, and again, this is my opinion. You guys could definitely leave your thoughts in the comment section below, but I think we're going to discuss today, is MapleStory pay to win? It might seem like a dumb topic to you guys, but please be open-minded. Just hear me out and listen to what I gotta say. And if you still disagree, shoot, let me know in the comment section below. But hey, don't get mad at me for stating my opinions, alright? So, is MapleStory pay to win? The vast majority of the community and of the population, or even of the total amount of people that actually tried the game and played it for a decent amount of time to actually evaluate it at such a strong statement to say that the game is pay to win. So that the majority of that population would definitely say yes. There's no surprise in that. I'm pretty sure 90% of my viewers, or if not a higher percentage, would say that the game is pay to win. Now, so the pay to win side of things is, NX. Of course, the NX, if someone buys NX, although illegal, they could sell it for misos. So they already have that advantage on you. Some spoiled kid, gets $50 a week from his parents because he's spoiled and they're rich. So, and he plays MapleStory and he likes buying NX, He gets a huge advantage over, the next guy that's been playing for a year and, is struggling to grind it out and trying to improve on his damage and stuff. The one that actually cares. And yeah, I could definitely see that. And I agree. I agree that MapleStory, the way it's set up, is that if you pay money in the game, you could get a significant advantage over those that don't or can't. I don't think there's exactly any argument in that. I think that's just a straight up statement. If any of you guys disagree with that, feel free to let me know, because you can't really say that's wrong. You can't really say that that's not the way it is, because 50k and X, you can sell that for like, on a bad day, on a really bad day, you can sell that for like 3 bill. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much instantly, and so, or if NX is also used for cubes and other stuff like that, safety scrolls to scroll your weapon and stuff like that. So pay to win, that's that side of it, because those that can pay, could get a significant advantage over those that can't. Now, the way I see it as not pay to win is because MapleStory's smart in the way that they do it, and they do it on purpose, so people can't really necessarily claim that the game is pay to win, because they pretty much make everything available to you without you needing to buy NX. And they kind of more recently introduced a lot of these things, such as the occult cubes, the Master Craftsman cubes. You know how big of a attempt Nexon and MapleStory made when they said you'll be able to craft your own cubes. They were tackling that big, vast majority of people that were saying the game is pay to win, because they too knew that they got caught. And I'm saying yes, that they got caught, because that was their intentions in the beginning, um, to just generate as much revenue as possible. Not necessarily the beginning, but once they realized how much money they could make off this cubing and potential system, they just went straight for it. They saw dollar signs. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, would agree. And so they made a huge attempt saying, boom, you'll be able to craft your own cubes, you know? And we were all stoked about that system, I'm sure. But obviously it didn't turn out as a lot of us had hoped. It's extremely hard to craft your own cube, and the vast majority of us never even get to craft our first cube ever, before we quit. So that didn't really thing. But the fact that they implemented that system is partially why you can't necessarily say the game is pay to win, because obviously if you don't want to pay money, you're gonna have to pay something else, and what that something else is your valuable time, and that's up to you. The amount of time you put into something, no matter what it is, obviously it reflects in the results, and what you get. And I like a comment someone said, they said you can't expect to put zero time and effort into the game and expect to, achieve a 2 mil range. And this was coming from a person that said the game is not pay to win. And I really like that he said that, because it's true. And I do see a lot of people saying that, and they kind of just go with the flow of people saying the game's pay to win, blah blah blah, right? Without really getting their own experience and trying to see the attempts that Nexon and MapleStory make. But the fact that you could craft your own cubes, you could get cubes from mining nowadays, and it's actually a pretty decent drop rate. You could get cubes from bosses nowadays that aren't even too hard. You could get cubes of like a pretty large, what's the word I'm looking for? You could get cubes from a pretty wide range of ways nowadays, and I really like that they did that, because even I've gotten a couple cubes, from doing random stuff that I do daily, and you're gonna be doing those stuff anyway. So the fact that they made it so that it has a chance to drop a cube just makes that thing worth more, like that much more worth doing every single day. And so you could get your own cubes. They have a ton of events. They always have an event shop out. You can't disagree with that or argue with that. They always have an event shop out where if you dedicate the time and invest your time into looting a billion drops, you could get yourself a couple scrolls, and you could sell those scrolls for money or use them to build your own equipment. So that's another way in which they're trying to make the game, or less, they're trying to make less people see the game as pay to win, because if you don't want to pay money, hey, pay time and look what you could get. And it's true, you can't really say the game is pay to win, but what you can say is, and what I do say is, that the game is, and this is, you could quote me on this is what I say the game is pay to win exponentially faster. So it's not necessarily pay to win, but if you do pay, you'll win exponentially faster, because by purchasing an X, boom, huge advantage. And what I think Nexon needs to do about this is significantly reduce the advantage that those who buy NX, achieve. They need to reduce that advantage. They need to reduce that gap that those who actually purchase NX, like how further ahead they get boosted. Like it's like a rocket. They just get a huge significant advantage over those that can't afford or just choose not to spend money on the game. And they're definitely doing this. They're coming out with the mileage system. They already have it in KMS. They're coming out with the mileage system in GMS, and that system is going to be so you could buy things in the cash shop without any NX. The way you get it is by going to this event place, which is called, I think, Star something. If you guys keep up with KMS, you'll know the name of it. It's like Star Planet. There you go. So you go to Star Planet, play a bunch of mini games, and there you get mileage points. And what you can do with mileage points is usually like an X, and you could buy yourself cubes or whatever else is in the cash shop. So that's making the game significantly less pay to win. And I think that's a really, really good system that they should have implemented a while ago when they noticed they were losing so many players. But you know, better late than never. So yeah, they're bringing that out. That's gonna help a lot. The new enhancement system with equip enhancement scrolls, where you know you don't need any cash op items to save your weapon from blowing up. Like, that's reducing again the pay to win. All you need is like a few misos. You know, dedicate the time into making a couple misos, and you could enhance your weapon. You know, 8 stars without having to purchase any NX at all. That's another really good thing. They're even introducing the system where if your item blows up, you have the remnants of the item, so to say. And if you get a new item, boom, you can slap the remnants of your old item onto the new item, and your new item becomes the exact same as your old item. So it's like you never lost anything in the it's like you never lost anything at all, except for a couple measles buying the replacement item. So you know, they're introducing a lot of new things, and I really do think it's going to help. You know, a lot of players see the game less as pay to win. You know, but at the same time, you know, Nexon is a business. They got to make money. I'm sure we could all agree. Okay, they got to make some money. So of course, those that buy NX and choose to spend money will have that advantage. That's just how it is in every single game across the board, except for certain games like MOBAs. But even they, you know, they get an advantage by paying as well. You know, if you're a new player, you're level 1 facing other level 1s. If you decide to spend $20 on the game, I'm talking about League of Legends, boom, you could have a champion that's, you know, very expensive that no other level 1 would have unless they actually pay. So, you know, but again, in League of Legends, the more expensive a champion is doesn't necessarily mean they're better, but you know what I mean. But again, Nexon is just a business. You know, they got to make some money. So of course, those that buy NX will always have that little advantage. Well, I'm saying little because that's what they need to do. They need to make that advantage a little. They can't have it as significant as it currently is. And the thing is, yeah, they are doing some. They are attempting to fix this, and I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll be updating you guys on everything. You know, if you guys quit MapleStory, you guys want to see if the game ever changes to a point where you could come back, I think my channel will be the one you could always depend on to show you guys what the new latest and greatest, or hopefully greatest, patches are in MapleStory, and see if it's, you know, changed in the direction that you were hoping, and it's good enough now for you to come back and stuff like that. But that's just how I feel on the matter. I mean, I feel like the game is pay to win exponentially faster, not necessarily just pay to win, because you can achieve almost everything in MapleStory. And notice I say almost everything. You can achieve almost everything in MapleStory without paying anything in NX. But if you do want to reach 2 mil range, you're gonna have to pay, because nobody got time to spend 10 years trying to get 2 mil. And if you do, damn, like, I'm not trying to be mean, but get half a life at least, because that means you ain't got no life at all. But so yeah, I think they just gotta reduce that gap, that, you know, that advantage gap, the pay to win players get and stuff like that. But you know, I'm flexible when it comes to this. If you guys have your own opinions and thoughts, which I hope you do, go ahead and do this like last time. If you guys want to see more like this, you know, I have a blast doing this. You know, this is just me talking to you guys, and I can go on for days and years about MapleStory and stuff like that. So if you guys want to see more like this on my Mondays, you know, because MapleStory doesn't have exactly a lot of stuff to make content about for you guys right now, so that's why I'm kind of resorting to this, and I'm glad I did, because it's pretty fun. But if you guys want to see more like this, please let me know. You know, tell me this was good, I liked the video, I want to see more. Let's talk. Alright? And I'll be sure to do that. So if you guys, you know, have your 2 cents, feel free to throw it in the comment section below. If you like the video, feel free to give a thumbs up. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one, and the next one, and the one after that. See you all later. This has been a Soulful production, and hope you all enjoyed. Have a great Monday. Peace. If you liked that last video, why not click another? And I'd appreciate if you subscribed.